Welcome to Hotline TV, everybody. I'm John Mercurio.
And I'm Amy Walter. You know, John, seems like every day. Every day. It's something between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton.
These two.
Can't they just get along? But let's take a look at the latest flap involving ex-VP nominee Geraldine Ferraro.
Then let's just look at it again. This is how you're quoted in the newspaper. If Obama was a white man, he would not be in this position.
And I believe that.
And if he was a woman of any color, he would not be in this position.
And I believe that.
He happens to be very lucky to be who he is, and the country is caught up in the concept.
So, John, are voters even listening anymore? Does it resonate? Are we going to care? Is this going to continue? Or are we is the Spitzer thing now just so overwhelming that it's taking the wind out of the sails?
I think the Spitzer thing is certainly getting a lot more airtime, a lot more newsprint. I do think there are a couple things you got to pay attention to. This is Geraldine Ferraro talking about how Barack Obama would not be getting attention if you were not for a black man. What did she say back in 1984 when people were saying, oh, well, she wouldn't be getting this sort of attention if her name were Gerald Ferraro? You know, I think so. You got to look back. She's someone who's uniquely positioned to understand what it's like to sort of draw attention publicly and politically because of your gender or your race. The other thing, though, and Maureen Dowd mentions this, and I know some people were talking about it yesterday, Barack Obama has admitted in the past, shortly after he was elected and started serving in the Senate, that he would not be getting the attention he was getting if he weren't the third African American to be elected to the Senate, if he weren't the first viable presidential nominee who's African American. So he has himself admitted that his race has played a role in his meteoric rise in American politics. So for them now to attack Ferraro and the Clinton campaign on it seems a little two-faced.
Well, there is, and here it sort of comes down to this: are all these conspiracy theories now? Is Hillary really doing this to really gin up her base?
Is this South Carolina take two?
Right, and you know, and we saw, as you pointed out, in Mississippi, a very racially divided electorate. Although, to be fair, anytime in a Democratic primary you have an African-American candidate versus a white candidate, you're going to have a racially divided primary. It's not just because it's Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama.
But more so than in other southern states we've seen this year. I thought Mississippi was extremely divided between the two of them.
That may be fair. And it's true, too, that when you look at how voters see the two of them, even I was looking between South Carolina and Mississippi, Democrats are souring a little bit on both of them, right? So it's sort of a pox on both your houses, which I think fundamentally, for most Democratic primary voters and other people who are paying attention to this, that's sort of what I don't know if they're paying attention to who's saying what as much as the fact that they both look like they're fighting, and this idea that we may see these kinds of surrogate battles going on from now through June. Can you imagine what this is going to look like? That every other day we have a press conference about semantics and who said what and what that really meant and who's doing what where, none of it having to do with the two candidates themselves.
Exactly.
We're going to,
is this change you can believe in?
It is.
Our
phones are going to literally explode from the number of conference calls. I don't know if we can handle that.
It makes us very sad. But unfortunately, that will have to do it for today's show. I'm John Mercurio.
And you know who I am. Oh, yeah.
Baby.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow on Hotline TV.